because we're playing the D&D. Children of Tyranny. The much more professional name than Rebellious Youths, which was the working title for this campaign.
Youths!
Youths!
I thought it was like Star Trek was Children of Tyranny, and the sub thing was Rebellious Youths, and like Star Trek: Next Generation, Children of Tyranny.
Oh, I like it.
Rebellious Youths.
That's good. Okay, that's the name.
That means I deserve 51% of all the revenue now for coming up with that. Copyright.
Oh yes.
Patent pending. My idea. It's recorded.
Now that YouTube won't let me get rid of mid-roll ads, I think there is a way, but it's really determined to give mid-roll ads. Keeps adding them to things. That's going to be like a whole 10p per video, I reckon, that you're claiming 51% of. So that's pretty good.
Gonna get that yacht payment.
So
are you gonna park a yacht where you live?
There's canals where I live.
Last time
on those canals.
Last time in Children of Tyranny: Rebellious Youths, who would like to copyright trademark? Who would like to tell us about all the wonderful things you did? Does anyone? It's been a long time.
I have no memory, so do not come in.
No. Let's go back about the loot, shall we?
Oh, the loot. You made me a wonderful loot.
Yes.
It was a beautiful loot.
Not L-O-O-T.
Yeah, it was a beautiful loot, and you spent the majority, I think, of 3 sessions creating
a lot of time
that
and
loot,
effort and resources to create this loot, which I thought would be a really nice thing to do because you did such a good job dealing with stuff.
Limited resources.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful loot. It's just a shame I can't play the loot.
Currently.
In our off time, as I mentioned earlier, I have learned how to use the lathe, but not a loot.
You're gonna learn.
It feels like it feels like learning to play the loot would have been useful, I suppose. But
why would you choose a lathe?
Only bards who also use lathes. It's not like a.
It's a secret. Yeah, it's a secret dark hobby that I've got.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
You're at night lathing away.
Yeah. A little bit of woodworking now and again.
While also threatening children. Yeah, I get it.
I didn't threaten any children.
You threatened a child.
None of you know anything about that though. In character.
You don't know anything about that.
But it did happen.
Made the loot.
So you're saying you wouldn't have made as a loot if you'd known about
Probably not. No, I would have probably made something for myself.
I mean, I'll learn. I'm sure our fantastic GM will happily tell me how long it's going to take to learn to master the loot.
There is a designated time for it, and using the library here, you can learn various things for free. But I'd have to go look up the downtime rules, and I believe you've kind of reached the end of at least the downtime you initially intended to spend. I think you've been here for 9 days. I've lost my bit of paper.
10.
10?
Yeah,
was it
like
10?
10 days
So,
or something.
9,
Yeah.
10 days. So you may of course stay for as long as you like. However, in this Battlestar Galactica game...
What?
What?
Legally distinct from Battlestar Galactica.
Yes. Well, no, it's Children of Tyranny: Rebellious Youths.
Yeah.
Don't tell us you just confused Battlestar Galactica with Star Trek, did you?
No.
That is going to make the internet nerds go
No.
crazy.
It's Battlestar Galactica because
Yeah.
you're being chased.
I mean, we might be being chased.
You may be being chased. Now, to be fair, your characters have not encountered evidence that you're being chased, but for some of you, it depends on your background, but some of you may have people that would be chasing after you. That you, based on your backstories, that you may or may not be aware of.
I am quickly looking to find my backstory.
Renowned loot player.
I don't think I pissed anybody off in the backstory I gave you. Did I? Oh no.
It's been expanded upon.
This is what GMs do.
You.
What GMs do, Vince.
This is true.
I mean, you have pissed off most of the people we've actually met, so...
I'm Jay Goldberg. This is what I... Goldbeard. This is what I do.
Can we just edit your backstory so Goldberg is your name?
Yeah, that's fine. It's Goldberg now.
Okay, so some of you, you may stay here as long as you like, but the sort of premise of the game that I initially pitched, and also some of you may be aware, given your backstory, that there may be people that want to know where you are and would be interested in you disappearing off the radar. Be that in a malicious or non-malicious way, you might just be being monitored. It depends. It's all individual. I have a lovely Google Doc which tells me all these sorts of things. So yeah, you may wish to move on soon, like.
Well, considering the information that we got last time,
yes,
like the little bit of information that we got, which was scattered about the tower, it might be, potentially worthy of moving on.
Yes, so for those who need a little refresher, last time, I think the bit of information you're referring to is the shipment, in a very literal way, of golems that was sent somewhere. Yes.
I've got my notes open from my Google Doc as well, don't you worry.
No,
are you getting paid by Google Docs? You do.
That was sponsored. Please sponsor me.
Thank you, YouTube.
That would be amazing.
Just any 10p a video. You'll be doubling my money.
And suddenly all the videos are 1 minute long.
Right. Yes. So there are two separate sort of things here. There is that they wanted to use the golems on Claymouth, and then there's also that there was a ship built, and it is a reasonable assumption to assume that they were sent there, but I will make the distinction.
Well,
so
go on.
I was going to say, if the ship was built, has it already left, or is it at a point where we can go have a look at it?
Are you sure it was Claymouth?
Yeah.
Well,
Claymouth
no.
Isn't on a river.
No. So the shipment was not to a known location.
Oh,
Claymouth
right.
was where golems were sent to be tested.
Yeah.
Now, seeing as we are 10 days after we arrived here, I would say that either we've missed that opportunity, or it's Claymouth is either destroyed or they never went. So there was a shipment, we know that, to transport golems. We know that there was correspondence from the Huskarls. It's possible that there was a connection with the shipment going to the Huskarls. And we also knew that the first batch of golems was nearly ready, and Huskarls were asking them about surviving cold weather. Now we know that the cold weather potentially is to the south, involved with the Great Ice Wall.
Yes.
We also know I also know, and you, Virak, also know.
Look, there's someone who may or may not be related to any sort of backstory.
Far to the south. But the main thing, Tobias is very concerned about more of these golems out in the world. These abominable intellects, this infusion of magic and
Technology.
Mechanical. It's unnatural.
I mean, it's a little bit natural from Vera's
No.
point of view. It's the inevitable, culmination of science. Yeah.
No,
Is it also
these
not natural in the fact that there are things.
Look,
like...
just because it used bad magic to propel it,
These
There's people
abominations
inside them.
cannot be suffered to live.
I mean, well,
So-
I mean, just just saying that there's an opportunity there to
So
learn.
Well, okay. Well, Tobias's proposal is that we need to track down and destroy this shipment.
I mean, you're right. We need to track them down.
And destroy them.
Track them down. Yep, that's right.
So finding where the shipment left from, and if it is indeed involved with the Huskars and their request for golems, needs to be our priority. This needs to be dealt with before these things cause any more damage.
I mean, Jay's happy with that. Like, as far as he's concerned, he's waiting to hear back from his little friends that he sent off to set up his spy agency. So,
how long did you say? Like
3 months.
3 days or
Yeah.
3 months? So
Yeah.
a while.
And
So,
what
I
are
mean-
the names of your little friends? Jay.
Yeah.
Bug-eyed Wilfred.
Oh damn, he's got notes.
Ah.
It was Blackjack Dwight and Rigby the Razor, is the notes I've made. I don't know if
Yes,
that's
and
right or
you
not.
killed
Yeah.
Lucky Oswin.
Poor
That
Lucky
was it,
Oswin.
yeah. And Almorn, I remember Almorn. I've
Oh,
even got
yes.
Almorn down as an ally.
What?
Well, I don't think he's an ally anymore.
I don't
He's
know.
definitely a resource.
Oh.
I've added them to my organizations.
You organised them.
Well, I have. I've sent them off to try and get this network set up. I need to try and figure out what the heck's going on back at the school.
Yes.
The school
No, I'm
for
trying
harvest-
to find in my notes. I just want to double check. I'm trying to find it in my notes. I'm pretty sure you sent Almorn to Claymouth, didn't you?
Of course he did. Because that would make perfect sense.
Did
I
I?
mean, that adds up.
I genuinely haven't written where I sent him to.
No,
I just
I'm
remember
trying
picking
to.
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Picking somewhere far, far away. It
Yes.
was like the furthest point on the map. And looking at the local map, the furthest point on there is Kumush. But
Well, I'll tell you what. It probably you won't make it there today. It won't come up today, but I will check. We have the footage.
oh no.
Oh yeah, it's getting recorded. We can't go back on anything with this.
Even if
Can't
my notes
lie
aren't
about anything.
perfect, I can find out. So yeah, so we're just catching up because we haven't had a session for a while. This is the viewers will be like, why have they forgotten everything?
It's been a few weeks.
It's been a long time.
Has it been a few months? I don't know.
It's been at least about a month. It's been a while.
Been a while.
Yeah.
So yes. Now, relevant information. Rather than going through the whole thing, I will tell you things that your characters would probably know because it has been a while. So there isn't a dock or port of any kind that is visible near the tower. There is not. You've got the tower. You've got the lift going down, but there isn't an obvious visible dock of any kind.
Was there anything at Doveye?
Doveye did indeed
did we-
have a port. It's coastal.
But Doveye is getting its
Sorry.
hopes firing.
That's you.
Let's go.
So it might not be Doveye.
I mean, the only other closest one's obviously that timer mouth. If it's about.
Well, it might not necessarily be an established settlement. It might be a
Just on the coastline.
yeah, it might
Pirates,
be
you say?
abandoned. Well, yeah.
It could again, if it's military with the Huskars, it might be a military position.
True.
Yeah. So the tower itself is not that far from the coast, or substantially far from the...
It's quite close to the coast, and it's not too far from Dovhai.
Yeah, so I imagine
there might be a secret dock. So going to the coast closest to the tower, there might be something there. This tower has been here a long time. They might have built their own rudimentary dock. Yeah.
It wouldn't even necessarily be rudimentary.
I know, but I wanted to say rudimentary.
I know you wanted to say rudimentary.
It's a good word.
Ever since Finn said that was very focused on training in lathes.
Is there anything underneath the tower? Like any underground network of tunnels?
The only thing you found was the cave on your way in, but admittedly you haven't significantly investigated.
Well, like the cave that we had was the bottom of the lift shaft bit, wasn't it? Because when the lift went up on that bronze disc,
yes,
there was no hole underneath it, so it was just flat.
Yes,
wasn't it?
That was a dead end cave.
Yeah, so there was nothing leading to anything else from there.
No.
Let's just say we do a brief check.
Yeah, I mean,
just to make sure we're not walking away from the obvious.
The other thing is, does no one speaks Gnomish, do they?
I can.
You can speak Gnomish. Well, what?
Well,
what
I've got comprehend languages.
Ah. Well,
So
would there be anything in the tower, map-wise, which would, describe where if it was nearby?
So maybe the way to do what you're trying to do here is to look at the boat blueprints themselves. And you may be able to infer from the blueprints something about, could these be made in a small place? Would they require components from a larger dock if they were built in like a small place? How big would the shipyards need to be, essentially? And what would the ship look like? And things like that.
Yes. I will do that. I will. Would that be...
Oh no, dice.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only weak point in our otherwise flawless plan.
Would you say it would be an athletics check?
No. I think it would be an intelligence investigation check.
Oh, that's good, because I have...
Neither of them.
No, I'm alright. I'm alright at these. That's not me.
And I'm gonna assume that you get help from Tobias in translating the bits that are in Gnomish.
Yeah.
And all the time I'm going, would it not just be easier for me just to read this rather than me translating it to you?
I mean, you can if you... Right. This is what I found. Here you go. Have a look.
Okay.
Okay,
And he
so
sort of, like,
let's see what
stands up
Virok
and
finds.
Sort of like shoves them into Bias. Clearly frustrated.
Well, let's see what Virok's found and whether or not he's justified. If Virok's already found everything.
Let's see.
So...
Nice.
Yeah.
So, as Virok tells Tobias pressures on for you to find anything more out of these notes. You can manage to... Because the blueprints are weird. They're made by this guy. He's not had any outside input. No one else has to use these blueprints. Which is already kind of saying something. Because it could be that means he is overseeing the construction himself, or it could be that he is just that detached from reality, that he expects to be able to give these to someone and get a boat out of it. The boat is quite different in design to a lot that you've seen. It has to have
This is a goddamn airship.
No. That would be too heavy. It's unreasonable.
I was gonna say.
So it's quite a wide boat, and the like hold area is quite tall because they have to have space to have all the golems at the bottom, and then still they kind of need room for a cramped little crew's quarters. It is notably not visible from the outside that it is a golem ship. And they're very efficiently packed in there. It looks like one ship could carry about 30 golems.
That is
golems.
A lot of golems.
Yes. It is, you know, it's a big ship, but it's not...
My other bit of my brain went, that's a lot of children.
Oh no!
But it's not like beyond what you would see in this setting.
Classroom full of children.
Jesus.
It's
Let's not dwell too much.
let's
on
not
that.
dwell on that.
No.
It's not beyond what you would see in the setting, basically. It's like large, but not unusual. But yeah, the design, especially because of who it was made by, is pretty weird. There's some weird, like, it only needs a very small crew because there's some strange stuff it does with, like necromancy and all of the things that he was working on. So there's bits of automated ship involved.
Ship.
It's a bit of a golem ship.
It's a oh, good. That's fine. No.
So yeah, but superficially, it looks like a weirdly designed normal ship, and you can produce some sketches of like what the ship you're looking for should look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's distinctive, and it looks as though, even though it's big, so if it was made like at a smaller shipyard, then there would have to be parts brought in. Like it could be assembled. There's a lot of individual parts of it that are quite normal and like standard issue that could be put together, and then the weirder stuff it could be like done at a smaller shipyard, or it could just be made at a big shipyard.
Right.
But with a 21, you can tell that, like, yeah, it could be done at a small one, and it's quite cleverly designed to allow for that, because it's got the large components being very standard.
Yeah.
All right, Tobias, how are you going to follow that up?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I was supposed to be following up with. I'm assuming that if it's a large ship, then it's not going to be some kind of underground access under the tower. It's going to be at sea, so we're going to be looking for something on the nearby coastline.
Or even just something, like you say, shipyards in the area as well. So, like you say, Dove Eye.
Oh yeah, I mean it could have been built there,
and then moved up the coast to a smaller one.
Yeah, and then loaded.
Is there anything in Gnomish saying that they have built something, like, you know what I mean, or have they built a shipyard specifically for this, or?
It's not obvious if from the blueprints, because the blueprints are just for the ship itself. I mean, if it helps, it's not like the golems are built into the ship. Like, they can be loaded and unloaded from it without dismantling the ship, I guess.
Has it got a big loading ramp at the front, which could be dropped, say, on a beach?
Yes.
Oh no. Okay, I made it worse.
Gavin, please stop. You don't need to give her any ideas. Just point it out there.
Yes, he does.
I mean, that's good, because I have
my
a
ideas.
terrible idea for how to deploy golems, but, you know, I'll keep that to myself.
Well, the good thing is, if you catch up to this ship, you're pretty sure that golems sink.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
But do they still operate at the bottom of the ocean?
Well, I don't know. That would take a bit of science.
Yeah, but that's ocean people's problem then.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Problem solved. Yep.
Good job, everyone. We did it.
So I think our initial investigation then has to be the local coastline.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So who's going to be doing what? Are you going to sort of split the coastline up, do a bit of it each, all do it together?
I mean,
it's probably
Split the
better if we
party.
split it up, is it?
Well, is it better if you split it up? That's a very...
it's a loaded question, is what that is.
It is. You're right.
Why don't we split the difference and go 2 and 2?
They always say split the party, don't they?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
standard practice.
Yep. Absolutely.
Do they?
Yeah.
Everyone knows this.
Well, half of them do. The other half never came back.
I see.
It's just it's 50-50 on who comes back or not.
Yeah.
So I say we do what Tobias said and split up into 2 teams.
All right. What are the teams?
Yeah. The trick is, the thing is though, I know Tobias is particularly lazy and doesn't like going outside. So
You know what's a good point? I could just stay here.
no, we need.
I'll send Hyperion. He's my contribution to a team.
Yeah, do you not have some sort of magic ability to scan a lot of coastline? And if
I
not,
could
why
send
not?
I could send Hyperion to scout it.
It might give us a clue. Otherwise, we might end up fighting a kraken or some octopus monster.
Well, Viruk likes being outdoors anyway, so he's ready to go out on an adventure. With his amazing 0 survival, but
I'm just listening to this at the minute. Just enjoying you lot set yourselves up for failure, and then I'll tag along.
So yes,
There's that team spirit.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking yourself into it.
Oh,
And we're bringing you along.
another point that I should mention about the ships that I've just that's just occurred to me. I think I implied it. No, but just it is designed to be staffed by non-golems. Like I mentioned a small crew. There's golems in the hold, but they aren't used for. There would be people doing the ship stuff.
And the enhanced ship part of it is more like an autopilot, I imagine.
Yeah, it's so that the crew could be small, but you'd still have a crew of about 6 for this quite big ship, and then some of it's sort of magically automated.
In Waterworld.
Was it like what?
The ship in Waterworld, where you click one button and it automatically puts the sail up. And that kind of...
I haven't seen that, but it sounds like it. Yes.
I would say that's a very, very bizarre reference for someone who doesn't watch movies.
So yeah, it's not worth the watch. Anyway.
Okay, so you will spend a day, I guess, searching the nearby coast. Choose your teams for the checks that will be made.
Okay.
How
Who
about
wants to go with me?
I was going to suggest that myself should go with Jay, because I want to keep an eye on you learning your loot from the book that I've given you earlier.
Okay.
Now, if Jay is spending the day learning the loot, that does mean he doesn't get to make a perception check for the things, because he's too busy, not falling over, walking, and reading at the same time.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's right. I've got amazing perception. So
Okay, so I'm sure that'll
I
be
can
fine.
make up.
Yeah.
Well, Hyperion really was the only one of our little group actually doing any looking.
Yeah, that's very true.
But I'm sure he'll be very good at it.
As you, I imagine digging into your bag, looking at a book on,
Yes.
how to sail.
Yep, because you can learn everything from a book.
Exactly.
Is there anything
No
scattered around,
practical
like,
experience needed. Sorry.
like a telescope or binoculars or anything that might make this easier?
You can't make I don't know, perception check.
How do you do this again?
We're all relearning how to play the game. Yes.
It's somewhere here.
Click on your characters.
Oh, I've got it. Core in it. There we go.
Are you getting ready to be a pirate?
And drum roll.
Oh my
Hooray!
god!
Nope.
There's a big gleaming telescope right in the middle of the table, which Focus just walks straight past. So,
If only there was something that could make me see better.
no, I don't like its colour. Next.
There's just this very large paperweight in the way. Oh,
It's that thing that was like, it was heretical, I had to burn it. It's gone now.
Well, that was successful. I say the rolls haven't
Well,
changed.
you've got that roll out the way. You've used up the 1, so that means your perception check once you're out and about
I don't-
looking around is
I
going to be
don't-
fine.
That's exactly how
That's
it
not
works.
how this game works, Katie, and you know it.
That's how dice work. You've used up the 1. Trust
well-known
me.
fact.
Trust me. I'm a dice expert. You've seen my rolls. I know how to do dice superstition.
Also known as a cheater.
The paid premium of Roll20.
And
yeah, but
also
you know,
Tabletop Simulator, thank you.
Less said about that, the better, though.
I see that you're not over the trauma yet. That's okay, I understand.
The viewers will see that in due course.
Not that one.
Didn't record it.
No?
No.
Oh my lord.
No.
It was bad.
It's like Stellaris, the board game, it's shit!
I did similar things to the things that I do in Stellaris, which is take everyone's stuff.
And yet, was
And
not king
yet,
at the end.
I was not king at the end. I had all your home planets. But that wasn't enough. Anyway, moving on. Yes, so there is no telescope, but it's okay.